Hey everybody, welcome back. I am your host, Joe JDF Foster, and today we are going to discuss the 1985 hit, um, Real Genius. This one, I don't think it was actually a hit when it came out, but more it developed a following afterwards. And um, this is a review, and it's my own personal opinion, minus some interesting facts that I found about it. But now let's get into it. First of all, the cast. I mean, like I said, this movie came out in 1985, but something interesting is that if you look at the credits date on the end of the movie, when it's doing the credits, it's listed as 1986. So I find that interesting in itself. Now, like I said, let's get on to the cast. We got Val Kilmer as Chris Knight, and many would know him for Batman Forever, the third in the Batman quadrilogy from the late 80s to early 90s. I mean, late 80s into the 90s. Batman Forever was also the movie that had Chris O'Donnell appear as Robin. But when this happened, Bruce Wayne. But anyways, he also Val Kilmer was also the voice of Kit when they rebooted Knight Rider most recently, and it wasn't liked by many, though I did enjoy it. Next up is Gabriel Jarrett, who played Mitch Taylor, the young student who transferred in during it and became one of the main stars of the movie. The thing is that when I tried to look up his credits, a lot of the stuff it turns out he did after this movie became more TV movies. I mean, made for TV movies, or he was a minor character that was almost uncredited in a lot of roles. Then there's Michelle Mayrink, and who plays Jordan, the love interest for Mitch in the movie. And she was known for the movie The Outsiders as Marsha. Revenge of the Nerds, she played Judy. And yes, these are both old films, and you should ask your parents about these if you don't remember them, if you don't know them. But anyways, Michelle Mayring also followed in Gabriel Jarrett's footsteps of this, and basically became made-for-TV movies and minor roles. What she did do. John Grease, or Grise, I'm not sure which way to pronounce his last name, who played Laszlo Holyfield. I could only find one reference to him that was known, or that I could think of that people would know, and that's to the TV series Lost, where he played Roger Linus. And anything after that was either made for TV or uncredited. Then there's William Atherton, who played Professor Jerry Halloway. And the professor in this was an important role somewhat, but anyways, William Atherton, people would remember from Biodome as Dr. Noah Faulkner, the guy who was leading the team in the movie when they were going to open the Biodome. Then there was Ghostbusters, the original 1984 version, where he plays the man who works for the Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, Walter Peck. Also known as the guy who released the ghosts when he got a court order that stated that what they were doing was wrong, though he had no proof. And I'd love to know how he got that court order to go through with no evidence in his case. But anyways, now on to some other moments. In the movie, there's a scene where it shows Chris Knight opening a canister, point out a thing of liquid nitrogen and cutting it with a blade and cutting it. And then using a little coin-size item to purchase him a cup of coffee. It turns out this actually isn't a mistake like a lot of people have come to believe. I mean, I joined with a lot of others and was confused as to how it was shown in the movie. But it turns out in the original draft, it was liquid nitrogen that when it was exposed from the dry canister, it instantly turned to dry ice so that Knight could use it to cut and make the coin in order to get his coffee. Also, Holyfield comes up with this strategy to enter this Frito-Lay's contest in the movie. And his idea is he's going to enter so many times since there's no limit on it. And when he does, he's entered over 1,000 times, it turns out. Well, this actually had a resemblance to a real-life event where a group of Caltech students did a similar thing, where they mailed in to a McDonald's sweepstakes so much that they amounted to 1/5 of the entries. They ended up winning a station wagon, $3,000 in cash, and $1,500 in food gift certificates. That's a lot of hamburgers. But a good way to spend your college years and not have to spend money. Another interesting fact, the old Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers TV show, the character of Gadget was actually based on the character of Jordan in this movie. I did not know this, but it was admitted in a television interview with the creator of the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers series. Now on to my review of the movie. The movie is about a school of geniuses and how they work. But it's also about the fact that the Defense Department is using said students, or at least a special group of them, to try and create a weapon that will atomize a person from space. Or deatomize. It'll kill them from space. While the teacher is in on it, the students don't know. Eventually, they do figure it out, but the question is, do they allow or do they stand against it? Also, another interesting fact, because I forgot to write it down, but it just hit me, is that when they were originally doing the previews for this movie, it shows the character of Chris Knight, played by Val Kilmer, sitting in a chair with balloons that have raised him up, floating alongside the building. But this clip does not appear anywhere in the movie. Now, my final notes on this. The movie, though it does seem long, is actually well placed with humorous moments and actually draws the story to a logical conclusion. And it also makes it where things aren't as boring as they seem, but sometimes some of it goes a little overboard. It either gets a little too dramatic or it doesn't focus enough on what it's doing. or what it's supposed to be expressing in the scene itself. And also, some of the moments in the movie wouldn't go over well today because of how they were done, because they would be either considered politically incorrect, such as far as the movie goes and what we could tell, Jordan was essentially the only girl at this school. And even though that's probably not true, it was just the only one really shown to be at that school. And then there's the professor, then there's the one guy's daughter, and the woman who's slept with 8 of the 10 geniuses of the world. I'm sorry, 7 of the 10. Because she's looking for the smartest person in terms of geniuses in order to be with them. But again, like I said, some of those things wouldn't go over today if it was shown. And some of the things the guys do wouldn't go over well either. Such as the recording of the phone call and using it, because that would be considered under the bullying sequences and harassment, which isn't allowed at school. Let's see. And then there's the car scene. You watch the movie, you'll see what I mean. Also, but now, as for my final grade on this movie, I give it a B plus because it's one of those you'll want to watch again and again. But if you enjoy it, but if you don't, it'll be one that it's still good to watch on occasion because it's a good movie. And now, watch this movie. Tell me what you think of Real Genius. And also, if you have any trivia or facts that I may not know or not listed here, feel free to list them in the comments as well. And leave a comment about what you think what my next or an upcoming video should be about. Till then, have a good day.